The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the community. The material and information presented on this podcast is for general information purposes only, and any reliance on the information provided on this podcast is done at your own risk. Welcome to the third episode of the Apology Accepted podcast. So, last week, I shared with you all how I was dealt a hand. I didn't like the hand that I was dealt, so I threw the whole deck away. Well, what I didn't share with y'all is I had no plan. None. I did not know what I was going to do next. And I got to that point of even wanting to throw this deck away because I was so filled with anger that I no longer wanted to be the one of understanding. I didn't want to understand where everyone else was coming from. I felt like no one understood where I was coming from. And so I just didn't want to be the, quote unquote, bigger person anymore. I literally wanted to cause havoc. I was angry. I was filled with anger. I had no plan. Not even a half a plan. I had nothing. No thought process. All I knew is that I ain't doing this no more. And so I went for a long period of my life not even knowing what I was doing, which way I was going, where my actions were leading me. Have you ever just sat in a space, in a mental space, and said, what is going on? What am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? Because see, I think that was my problem. I didn't even know what I was supposed to be doing. And because my family dynamic was so screwed up, family divided, people don't like you here, there. It was just a lot that I didn't understand, and no one could give me answers. And so I was on this hamster wheel. Every day, I was doing the exact same thing. Wake up, work, child, home. Wake up, work, child, home. Wake up, work, child, home. And that is not a complaint. Praise God, I was able to wake up and I am here today. So that is definitely not a complaint. What I'm saying is, I had no clue to what I was supposed to be doing or what my purpose was. I had no one reassuring me that the track I was on was right or good or anything. I'm an 80s baby, so my generational parents, it was 18, you're grown. Figure it out. 18, you're grown. Figure it out. 18, you're grown. Figure it out. I just wish that my generation of parents had a little bit more to give. A little bit more to give. Because some of us would be in better places. However, I'm grateful for my path, because as a mom of 4, I am able to better assist my adult children. Because see, in my mind, parenting does not stop. I have a 20-year-old and I have an 18-year-old. Well, I also have a 16-year-old and a 12-year-old. But for my 2 adult children who happen to be boys, parenting has not stopped for me just because they are 18 and over. It's just parenting has changed. It has not stopped. It has changed. Because Lord knows, I could not say to them, well, you 18, you grown, goodbye. Figure it out. My gosh. Whew. No. No. They not ready. They not ready. And that's the thing. I was not ready. Yes, I thought I knew everything, but what kid don't? What young adult don't think that they know everything? However, my parents were not equipped with the right tools and resources to reel me in. And so, because of that, I am out in the world making all these silly choices. I call them silly. You know, why? Because I just had no business. Okay? I had no business. Honestly, I had no business. But I didn't have anyone to rear me back in and say, hey, well, you know, that might not work for you. Oh, you think it's going to work for you? Well, let me know your plan. Nobody has ever asked me about my plan of life. Nobody. Now, my mother would ask me what I was going to do whenever I found myself in trouble, right? So, I get pregnant. Yeah, well, what you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Bills need to be paid. Well, what you going to do? Yeah. See, what about, okay, high school student, child of mine, what does this look like after? What is your plan? Like, me and my mother nor father ever had any of these life conversations to prepare me. We always had the life conversations after I messed up. Which the conversation is needed both times. Because again, I was not ready. Of course I said I was ready. I was a kid who thought I knew everything. Duh. But I was not ready. And the lack of guidance put me in position where I was just, again, making these silly choices. And then I found myself going through a period of my life just being angry. I'm angry. I was filled with anger, trauma, mommy issues, daddy issues, family issues, church issues, friendship issues, relationship issues. I am filled with anger. And I had nowhere to put that anger. Have you ever just wanted to release anger, really not understanding how or where? I had no business being a mother at 19. I love my son with my whole heart. But I had no business being a mother because I was told repeatedly over and over and over, well, once you're 18, you're grown. Once you're 18, you're grown. Once you get 18, you're grown. Well, you know when you turn 18, you're grown. Well, you know you're about to be 18. Well, you know when you're 18, you're grown. I heard that so much that now I'm looking forward to being 18 because I'm going to be grown. Not necessarily looking forward to being 18 and going to school, having age appropriateness, college experiences, doing things that would be a positive reflection of my life versus you 18 and you're grown. Well, so I get to do what I want. Not only did I get to do anything I wanted, I got to do everything I wanted. And so that put me in a position where I was just out here cutting up, acting a whole fool. Like I can honestly say that because of where I am today. Thank God for growth and understanding. Because I was a whole ignorant woman in these streets. I had nowhere to put my anger. I self-destruct, self-sabotage. I caused a lot of pain on myself. And that's why I told you guys in the beginning of this, like, I was looking for an apology from everybody else who has wronged me. But I never gave that hard look in the mirror and accepted my own apology. And apologized to myself for my own wrongdoing to myself. I threw that deck away, honey. Ain't have a plan, nor a purpose. I was just out here. Not a good feeling. Not a good feeling at all. And I had to realize that everything I did, even the silly decisions that I made, I did it because I wanted to, because I was quote and unquote grown, so I could. Understanding now, today, that was not the best option. Because again, I thought I knew everything. And so that's where I feel like so many of us, we get caught up because we don't take the time to really think about the effect. Not just the effect on ourselves, but the effect on the people that's closest to us, like these children. Because, I mean, even after that, I had 2 more kids. But that's another episode. I just became knowledgeable of understanding, like fully understanding. You know how you used to get in trouble as a kid? And you go up to your mom or your teacher or whoever you done got in trouble with, and they'll say, now, don't you do that. Do you understand? And you just say yes, so you can kind of move on to the next thing. Oh, that was just me? No problem. Anytime I was in trouble, I had to face the person. They saying, don't you do that again. You understand? Yes. I ain't understand nothing they was saying. I just wanted to get out from in front of them. Okay? So those behaviors that I had stuck with me throughout life. And so I really didn't have a sense of understanding. And so, again, not liking the hand that I was dealt, throwing the whole deck away with no plan was the silliest thing. One of the silliest things. Because I done did a whole lot of foolishness, like I mentioned. But that was one of the silliest things I've done. And so, what I want you guys to get, if you can't find your place of peace, then you're not going to be able to find your understanding, so you can then find your purpose. I went through life a long time, many years, not knowing my purpose, not having peace, just reckless, because I had no sense of understanding. And that was hard. Today, I am able to do these little episode clips, nothing long, but just to share a piece of my past in each episode, just so you guys can understand that the Latisha that you see today is not who I was prior. And I know we all can relate to that. Every woman can relate to that statement. Who I am today is not who I was before. We went through this process, but at some point we had to stop the foolery long enough to gain some understanding. My problem is I was trying to skip a process. I was trying to find peace without giving up the foolery. I was trying to keep the foolery and the peace. And sometimes we get stuck right there too, because somebody going to be able to relate to that as well. We know we doing this foolery, but for some reason we can't stop. I don't know. All right, I'm going to stop. Yeah, maybe not. One more thing. We have to get rid of the foolery so we can gain that clear understanding. So this is what I want y'all to take. Clear your mind so you can identify the foolery. Step outside yourself, because it's easy for us to identify somebody else's foolery, but it's real hard for us to look in the mirror and identify our own foolery. So that's what I want you guys to do. I got a lot of feedback last week about the hand that I was dealt and the choice that I made to throw the deck away. And people say, you know what, that's good. That's good. I like that. But again, what I didn't share is once I did that, I was totally lost. Because I did not have understanding. I had anger. And I made an impulsive decision to throw the deck away. It wasn't none that I sat and thought about. It was an impulse decision. So what I want you to do is to find a moment where you know what you're doing out here. You know if you still got a little foolery in you. I mean, every now and then I might get a little foolery. Okay? So I get it. But find a peaceful moment so you can identify the foolery. So you can clear your mind for understanding. So when I hear from you, and when you say, hey, Tisha, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, that's because you are doing it from a place of understanding. Don't be like me. If you're doing things right now from a place of anger, I want you to stop. I want you to stop. Right now, I want you to stop. Because doing things from a place of anger does not lead to a place of greatness, because it's all negative. So we got to get up on this positive. We have to replace our anger with understanding. I'm going to let y'all go because I already kept y'all too long. Again, thank you so much. Until